Hey again, Chris here. I'm a volunteer with Holy Language Institute, and we're talking about the Hebrew Quest Memrise modules and the course that we created. In this video, this is number 3, I wanted to share with you something that we're very excited about, in addition and kind of above and beyond the Memrise modules. Up until now, at Holy Language, students have generally been on their own when it comes to your individual Hebrew Quest. And while we have encouraged the use of videos in a small group setting, and indeed many have successfully done so, the vast majority of us, and I include myself here, have watched the videos on our own kind of in solitude and in a silo. Well, for this coming year, we want to change that. And by when I say coming year, I mean the Hebrew year, 5777. We believe a fantastic New Year's resolution, if I may call it that, would be to be much more intentional about our Holy Language Hebrew Quest. So what we're going to do is we'll be forming an online Hebrew Quest Memrise study group. And I'll talk a little bit about that in this video. If you've watched the very first lesson, you may remember that Izzy talked about the importance of learning as part of a group. And so to facilitate this, we will be forming a Hebrew Quest Memrise online study group. So we'll be using the tribe page on Facebook. And what we're going to do is we're going to align it with the new Hebrew year 5777. So I'm recording this in late September 2016. So Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, is right around the corner. And then on October 23rd is the first day of the week that includes the first Torah portion, or the Bereshit Torah portion, I should say, where folks around the world will begin reading the book of Genesis. And so what better time than this to undertake our new beginning, or maybe a refresher beginning, in our Hebrew Quest, and then using both the videos and the new Memrise modules. So here on this slide you can see our planned schedule. I mentioned earlier that there are 5 Hebrew Quest modules, and this means we can align the 5 modules with the Torah portions. And so there's 5 books of the Torah, and so that means when the book of Genesis or Bereshit is being read, then we will go over the first Memrise module. When we get into Exodus or Shemot, then we'll move into the second Memrise module, and so on. So we'll try to align these. Now, as you know, there are usually more than 8 Torah portions. So what we're going to do there is we will start, as you can see, week 1 we'll start with video lesson 1, and then week 2, which is the second Torah portion for Noah. Then again we'll do week 2, but when we get to week number 9, we're not going to start the second module because we're not in Exodus yet. We have to finish up Genesis, so we'll just allow that time for some catch-up, review, and then continue to work on the Memrise modules. So that's going to be how it works. So it's going to be, again, as we said earlier, Hebrew Quest is a marathon, not a sprint. So we're really excited about doing it this way, and it's a good, approximately a lesson a week is a good pace. And then so by the end of the year, or by Rosh Hashanah, next September, you will have gone through all 40 lessons of Hebrew Quest and been well on your way to committing them to memory using Memrise. And again, we want this to be a spiritual as well as intellectual quest. So as those of you who have gone through some of the video lessons may already know, Izzy does a whole lot more than just teach Hebrew. He challenges us to go deeper with our walk with Yeshua by engaging in some very thought-provoking and deliberate discussions. So as part of this study group, we don't just want to engage our minds, but we want to engage our hearts as well. So what we'll do is every week we'll post some conversation starters, which are based on these discussions in the video, to our tribe Facebook page. And what we want to do is get some discussion going and have people answer some questions. So I took some sample questions from the first video, which I posted here on the screen, of sponge, funnel, strainer, or sieve, which in all honesty have you historically been in your walk, and why? So if you've already watched video 1, you may remember that discussion where he's talking about how we absorb the word in different ways. And Izzy talked about how a sieve is considered the ideal state. So if you remember why, you can put in your own words, and why is being a sieve considered the ideal state. And then the second one is discuss the concept of Shabbat. And then the last one is give an example from the Gospels of Yeshua invoking a multisensory or visual aid learning. So these are just 3 discussions that he talked about in the first lesson, and that we pulled out to be some conversation starters or discussion questions. So again, we'll get into some of these weightier matters in addition to just learning Hebrew and really try to engage our hearts and minds. So if all this sounds great, and I hope that it does, you may be asking, well, what do I do? What do I need to do? Well, here I'm going to tell you. So first is watch the weekly video lessons, and this will be about an hour to an hour and a half per week. And the link for each lesson, of course, is available to subscribers at holylanguage.com. We know that a lot of you have already completed all or part of the video lessons, and that's, as I said earlier, that's completely fine. The study group is for everyone. You can either redo the video and start over again and keep up with the class, or just focus on completing the Memrise modules and answering the discussion questions. Whichever group you find yourself in, we want you to be a part of the study group. Second is make use of Memrise. We built this and made this available as a supplement to the videos to help us lock those Hebrew Quest concepts into our long-term memory. So they're there for you. Go review the new lessons. Learn the new lessons, and then it'll ask you to do some review as well. And you'll see it may start out slow, but you'll have several words, and you'll be surprised how quickly you can build up your vocabulary and start locking that into your memory. Again, as I talked about on the last video, you can set the goal in Memrise to be either 5, 15, or 45 minutes per day, whichever that you can accommodate. Maybe you want to stretch yourself a little bit. Maybe set a goal for, if you think you can only do 5, maybe set it for 15. But whatever, just set a goal and try and stick to it. And again, it's this concept of what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And then number 3, engage with your study mates. Again, I talked about the conversation starters that pertain to the Hebrew Quest lesson for that week. So select 1 or 2 questions, or as many as you want, really, to comment on, and then be sure to write an encouraging reply to others' posts. We really want this to be not just a superficial discussion, but really put some thought into it and really help others learn from your insights and be edified that way. Fourth thing you need to do is email me at memrise@holylanguage.com when you have finished a module, and this will be easy because we'll know by the time we get to week 8, hopefully by the end of that week, everyone in the group will have finished those first 8 lessons in Memrise and can stick with it. Again, as we talked about on the first video, for each module you complete, you'll get a certificate. And when you complete the entire course, so again, hopefully this time next year we'll be having to send out a lot of graduation certificates and either the Hebrew letters mug or the replica oil lamp. And it's just our way of saying, thank you for being committed and thank you for running the race well. And again, we do have some things that we ask of you, so don't just send me an email saying, hey, I've completed it. Check out holylanguage.com /memrise, and then get to the graduation page, and there's some other information we'll need from you. Last, certainly not least, is this is a spiritual endeavor, and whenever we want to take on a new quest to learn more about our King and more about his holy language, you can anticipate that there are going to be attacks. So pray for your studies as well as for your study mates and everyone else in the group, that we keep the enemy in check and that we can be really strong and strengthened through this. And then optionally, not really a formal part of the group, is to read the Torah portion. If you've never read through the entire Torah in a year before, you are in for a tremendous blessing. And so along with the Hebrew Quest schedule, we'll also, just for information, we will link out to the Torah portion, and then you can see which part of Scripture that Torah portion covers if you don't already have a different plan. So the first name is Bereshit, and that's Genesis 1:1 through Genesis 6:8. Second portion is Noach, and that's Genesis 6:9 through 11:32, and you can see the list there. There's also lots of other websites you can go to for audio teaching and reading lists and reading schedules. And so one place you might want to start is www.torahportions.org, and that's First Fruits of Zion's recommended reading schedule. We just offer that as a courtesy. We're not affiliated with them, but it's just a good website to keep current with the Torah portions. And they have some good commentary there as well. So that's really it on the study group. We're excited about this. It'll start on October 23rd, which is the Sunday, before the Shabbat, where we're reviewing Bereshit. So we'll work on our lesson 1 and of the video, and then the lesson 1 of the Memrise modules that week. Watch the tribe page on Facebook. There'll be a lot more information coming there. And again, 2 places you can go for more information on the study group or anything about this Memrise project is www.holylanguage.com/memrise, which are the web pages I showed you. And then if that doesn't answer your questions, or you still have other feedback or anything like that, you can email me at memrise@holylanguage.com, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can to answer your questions. So hope you are excited about this as I am. I think it's going to be a really great thing for the tribe. And just let me know again if you have any feedback or anything like that, and just have a great day. Thanks.